Have you been told that you cannot get a quality OTF for under $100? How's it going, everybody? I'm Rollshambo, the connoisseur and collector of all things sharp and shiny. And if that's you, if you've heard that, or if maybe you are in the spot where you believe that good OTFs just don't exist in the budget price range, I'm talking about under $100, smash the like button. And while you're down there, let me know, how long have you waited for a good quality OTF in the budget price range? Because up until now, good quality OTFs just haven't existed under $100. They've been making a lot of headway recently where, first it was, well, this one is a good one for $250. Or, well, you know what? This one's a really good one for $200, maybe $180. I'm here to talk to you today about a knife that I got out of the box 20 minutes ago. And I was so pleasantly surprised that I had to make a video about it. This is the SOS Knives OTF, a knife of very few words, but that's okay because I care less about the branding, care much more about that action. I'm not going to waste any more time. We need to dig into it. We're going to dive into an over-the-head view and talk in depth about the SOS Knives OTF. Let's go. So first and foremost, shout out to Blade Ops for making this possible. And it's kind of a funny story, really, because I was reaching out to them requesting some different knives for review. And this was one where they said, hey, we just got these in stock and we know that these are going to be very popular. Would you like to check one out? And I never say no to checking out knives because sometimes the best knives that I review are the ones that I did not ask for to begin with. It's crazy how that works. But in this case, I'm very, very glad that they suggested it because, guys, I'm impressed, okay? This is the SOS Knives OTF. Now, they didn't go to a lot of work in naming the knife. SOS Knives is not a brand that I can necessarily find anywhere. My limited information, it comes secondhand. Now, I did reach out to Blade Ops to ask for some more information about the company and, some more general information because I'm very interested in this. Here's what I can tell you. It's an out the front knife. It's a switchblade, automatic, dual action, D2 blade steel, and they do have different blade shapes too. They do have this in a dagger style blade, and I believe as well in a tanto. I'm going to link these down below because these are, honestly, I'm going to cut to the chase. These are very impressive for the price tag. We're looking at an aluminum body, and that double action switch is nice and snappy. You don't get a whole lot right here for the pocket clip. This pocket clip just seems a little bit like an afterthought, so I'm not necessarily impressed with the pocket clip. But honestly, I could care less about the pocket clip. When we're talking about out the front knives, we're typically talking about knives that cost a lot of money. For example, microtech, which I consider to be the standard for what people find acceptable for tolerances and action for a higher price tag. Your average run-of-the-mill microtech, ultratech is going to go for somewhere in the realm of $290 to, upwards of $350, sometimes $400 for a signature series. And then you've got the Hogue Counter-Strike, which is also a very good competitor knife. And then if we're going to go even more in depth, you can find cheap Chinese out the front knives. This is an example of me trying to find quality OTFs for under $200 that was a failure. Do not buy this knife. I'm not even going to tell you the name of this knife because it's trash, okay? Just know that this is a D2 out the front knife that is trash and it costs under $200, over $100, and I would not suggest this or recommend this. I'm not even going to show the name because I seriously dislike this knife. So yeah, we've got knives like microtech and knives from Hogue that are both really good knives in their own respect. I don't have any Guardian Tacticals here, but one of these days I'll get one. But here's my point. Over $100. over $100. On this one, you get 20 CV steel. On this one, you get M390. And on this one, you get D2. By the way, video on this Hogue Counter-Strike coming soon. And yeah, I like this one too, but we're going to talk about this one later. The price tag, guys. OTFs, quality OTFs have been expensive. People went nuts about the Kershaw Livewire at the $240 price point because it was American made, $240, you know, aluminum handle, 20 CV on the blade, and, you know, great action, right? I'm here to tell you right now, the action on this SOS Knives OTF is every bit as good, if not a little bit better, than this $300 ultratech. The blade still might not be as premium, and the parts might not be made in the US. If that's something that you can overcome, oh wow, I gotta tell you, this thing is impressive. Guys, if you see my thumb has gone through some abuse in the last 20-30 minutes. I've been trying to get this thing to fail. Not only is the action snappier than my ultratech, but the tolerances are very similar too. Side to side play is your average OTF, and when I say average, I mean, you know, the benchmark for what people consider to be acceptable. And I say acceptable because these still sell a lot. I would venture to say that microtech ultratechs are probably some of the best selling OTFs, period. So people have voted with their dollars. They've told us what they find acceptable, because if we didn't, we wouldn't buy them, and then microtech would be forced to do something about it. But because that's not the case, that's why I'm saying it's the standard. Now, the front to back, that is a little bit more than what you find in a microtech, but we're talking about a third of the price. And that's outstanding to me, because a common issue that a lot of OTFs run into when we're talking about quality is that the action feels sluggish. Maybe they're a single action out the front and you have to crank a lever back and it just feels cheap. Nothing about this, like, this does not feel cheap. I shouldn't say nothing, because that pocket clip is definitely cheap. It's atrocious. But aside from the pocket clip, that action is smooth and snappy. It is really good. The aluminum handle scales feel nicely contoured, and it doesn't fall into the trap of using the standard issue handle scales that you see a lot of companies who rebrand. You know, for example, Ravencrest Tactical, Normandy Knives. There's a lot of companies out there that just, they all buy from the same Chinese manufacturer, and then they repurpose and rebrand the same parts, and you can tell. This doesn't feel like that. I don't really feel like these handle scales look exactly like another OTF's, which means that it's different. Now, I watched the video that Wayne's Sharp World did on this, and he mentioned that these parts are from China, but they're assembled in Utah. Now, that's secondhand information. Again, I'm still waiting on Blade Ops to reach back out to me and let me know what's up. I can't find SOS Knives anywhere. I really can't. I looked, I searched the Googles, and the Googles let me down, which is unfortunate. But yeah. Oh, also, side note, something that I think is really cool. If you look at that design, that is the Morse code for SOS. The name of the company is SOS Knives, and that is SOS in Morse code. If you didn't know what SOS actually stands for, it's Save Our Ship. It's, you know, naval code, right? Whatever. Anyways, I just thought that was pretty cool branding. You don't get any billboarding on the blade aside from that, which says D2. And it does get nice and thin here behind the edge. It's a beautiful satin grind. So far, I'm only seeing these in satin. I don't think they have any PVD coated blades yet, or any DLC coated blades, or any other kind of coating. I do believe that so far what we're seeing is only satin, which I'm okay with. You do get a tiny bit of weight relieving in this fuller right here, and the drop point is really well done. I like how slicey this feels. Very thin behind the edge. The edge is sharp, and because it's not a dagger style, you can actually choke up with the saber grip behind the edge of the blade. Now, this one was sent to me for review by Blade Ops, but because it's not mine yet, I can't necessarily put this through any stress tests. But that might change because I don't think I'm sending this back. Guys, I think I'm going to keep this one. This is just quite honestly really good. I would challenge someone to find an OTF at the $100 or under price point that's a double action that has just as good of action without failing. Like, I know that's annoying, but I have not been able to get this to fail. I like that there is no glass breaker on the end because most of us aren't going to be using glass breakers, 99.99999% of the time. And there's no jankiness with the switch. The switch seems solid. It came lubricated out of the box. And you'll notice that those are standard screws. Those are not proprietary screws, which means that if you're brave and you feel like you could work on an OTF, then yeah, you could take this apart. I don't suggest that. OTFs are notoriously hard to take apart and put back together, but it's your money, do what you want. 99 bucks. That's not going to be cheap for everyone, but as far as OTFs are concerned, for this quality, that's an absolute steal. I'm going to go ahead and link Blade Ops down below. Feel free to use them or not. If you found this helpful, please let me know. Guys, and if you watched this far, make sure to hit that subscribe button because there's definitely going to be more content on this guy coming soon. This is a knife that's going to reach my budget banger leaderboard because it's under $100. Now, it seems like myself and other reviewers are all getting these today around the same time. So I have no idea how long these are going to be in stock. If you want one, I feel like I could recommend this 100%. But I will leave that up to you. If you've been looking for an OTF knife with great action, I think this could be it. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below, and I will catch you on the flip side.